Afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the LinkedIn Live podcast. Today we have Parul Dadhich, who will be talking on the topic of inclusive futures, women driving change in leadership. Parul is a founder of Corpeople, a motivational speaker, post trainer, building strong leaders and high performance team, as compliance professional. With further ado, I bring Parul onto the stage. Hi, Parul. Good evening. Welcome to our show.
Good, good evening, Prem. Thank you so much for that generous introduction. I'm glad to be here.
Parul, let's start with our discussion on the topic. What inspired you to pursue leadership role, particularly in advocating inclusiveness and diversity, Parul?
Um, well, Prem, my journey started as a corporate consultant, as you know. So, dealing with different corporates and boardrooms, I got to know that those boardrooms are not being served by a lot of women. And I'm talking about it like 13, 14 years ago when I started my career. And from the regulator's point of view, Companies Act from India, that is Companies Act 2013, the Indian Companies Act, that mandates the companies who have capital of 100 CR or turnover of 300 CR, and they make it mandatory to have a woman director on the board. I just want to ask that what about those companies who have capital from lesser than 100 CR or turnover than lesser than 300 CR? Why don't those boardrooms have this mandate of having a woman director on the boards? And
Okay.
the question still makes me feel like that. Why can't we bring this shift from the regulator's point of view? If you want to make this thing a mandatory and you feel like that, then what about the smaller companies, MSMEs, or the companies who are somewhere in the down the line to reach to that level?
Okay.
So yes, that was one question that remained with me for a longer period of time. And now, when I am in a capacity that we can actually put a voice about it, or maybe make people aware about it, that rather than following the mandatory compliances, why don't you make it voluntary and let those deserved women come forward and grab the opportunities to lead.
Yeah. Okay. So that less people on the leadership from the women's side made you think about this role and make things possible for them, help them, guide them is what you're saying on joining this one. Coming to the point, how can you share can you share some of the pivotal moments in your career journey where you realize the importance of woman representation in the leadership? Put some light to it. How do we take it much more deeper? Because women leadership has been in the talk for a very long time, and women manage better at home as a leader, as a mother, as a sister, as a wife. They manage many of the things at home, which I think they can manage better at office as well. So what made you think? Can you give your perspective on women's journey so far?
When you ask about my experience, that how women leaders have influenced my life, so I can start with my school
Okay.
principal, or someone
Mm.
from my
Mm.
MBA program working as a faculty over there, maybe
Okay.
some external speaker coming in and talking about these kinds of concepts, then
Mm.
moving towards my professional journey where my colleagues or some mentor whom I found during my practice journey of CS and consultant. I think all of those women, when I look back, had their own kind of influence in me shaping what I am today, and what my thought process is about making women more visible in terms of leading at fronts. I totally can vouch for the fact that, as you told, that we as women can lead at several areas. We are multitaskers, and actually, that's the burden that is being put on us. That why don't you become a superwoman and do everything and win the world? But the fact is that yes, we are inherently creative and can actually lead multiple roles at several point of time. But I think let's put aside that burden of becoming a superwoman, and I think let's focus on doing justice to whatever we are being offered to, whatever roles we are playing in our lives. It can be a wife's role, a mother's role, or some company CEO role, whatever it can be. So the thing is that getting those opportunities to lead, irrespective of that burden, that we need to excel in everything that we are doing. We are just normal human beings, just like you are, the men are, and we can also have our fair share of failures and may not be getting successful or something. So I think rather than focusing on that getting excelled or performing at everything that we are doing, at least we can choose something according to our priorities, of course, and that's more than enough. So yes, a lot of women have had their share of influence in my own life, and when I'm talking about leadership roles, I'm not just talking about the boardrooms. Here, I mean someone, a head lady who is leading a village as a sarpanch. I can talk about maybe a lady who's leading a school as a principal, a lady who can be, leading some municipal corporation office and managing the city or town, whatever she has been assigned to. So every facet of societal system or professional world should be inclusive in terms of giving opportunities to women, irrespective of boardrooms.
Okay, got that. Parul, can you hear me? I think there is.
No, I can hear you perfectly.
Yeah, okay. Uh, uh, I think what is the moment in sorry, where did you realize the importance of women representing in leadership, Parul?
Mhm. So as I was telling you, Prem, that the journey when started with being in touch with the corporate world, I then and there realized that yes, there is a big gap in terms of women leading the boardrooms. And I
Hmm.
was just reading recently some survey being done
Okay.
by the Lean In organization, which is an international organization led by Sandy Shellberg, who is ex Facebook CFO.
Mm-hmm.
And this organization particularly works into this space where they keep doing research and surveys at how women are coming and leading the front from the leadership roles. And now the figures have significantly improved, like we have reached up to 60% women all over the globe who are into leadership role, which is a very significant growth when
Yeah.
we look at the decade back overview. But still there is a lot of work to be done. As I told you, when I talk about or advocate about leadership role for women, I do not only consider the boardrooms or the
Yeah.
corporate culture. I mean to giving them or involving them in every facet of society. So it starts from home and growing with everything which involves her expertise or can give her exposure to show her talents.
Yeah.
So every day there is some example happening around me which gives me more conviction that I should keep working on these lines, keep talking about it. Whoever in the influence of power comes into my contact and who can actually help me in taking this vision ahead. So there is no one particular example, but I think every day there is something which drives me more towards this purpose.
Okay. What would be some of the effective strategies for overcoming barriers that women face in climbing the corporate ladder? That's always been a challenge, right? Women climbing the corporate ladder, always seen that they have been challenge that they get into the boardroom. As you rightly said, when we started up, uh, there is not significant people not only in the boardroom, but what I've seen is, or what I understand is, there is a limitation is what we have. What could be the challenges, or what could some of the effective strategies that we can use where women can be part of the leadership roles?
Okay. If your question is specifically oriented towards strategies that women should use or strategies that organizations should use, I just want that one
Uh,
clarification.
what would be the effective strategies to overcome the barriers women often face? That's what I mean to say. How,
Okay, okay.
from a woman's side, right? Corporate side,
Right.
we are talking about the individual women as per se. What is that they have as barriers?
Okay, okay, got that. Um, to begin with, the first thing that we need to change is the mindset that most of the time we women try to, being underrated. If we are doing great in our lives and somebody asks us to rate us ourselves out of 10, women will usually do, 8 out of 10. Similarly, when men are asked that yes, you are doing great in your life, rate yourself, they'll rate themselves 10 on 10. That kind of confidence they come with. So I think having that confidence in your abilities is the first thing which we as women need to start with. Moving on, I think the whole scenario will change when we involve more women in the leadership roles. So while you can see the significant change that is happening in the leadership role, the one reason behind it that you are involving more women in the roles, and those women are actually women around them to again come at the front and maybe lead behind them. So that's a circle that those women will actually help other women to come forward and grab the opportunities if they are deserving to serve that particular role. So it will grow parallelly when we are growing one part of leadership queue. You are actually helping other people to come forward, but yes, the mindset needs to be there of uh, engaging yourself in a collaborative growth. So, as a women leader, you should be mindful that you need to pass it on or maybe spread the whole effect to other women who are working in your organization. I think third thing, the barrier that I can identify in corporates is about negotiation skills. So both men and women working at same level of hierarchy in any company or organizations, we are still facing a big gap in terms of equal pay scales. And yes, that's a harsh truth that is prevalent everywhere. We accept it or not, a lot of HR will definitely resonate with this point. And the reason behind it is not lack of competency here, why that wage gap is prevalent. I think we as women never negotiate about those capabilities. So having that confidence in your abilities and being into a zone where you can actually negotiate about those things and demand the equal pay scale, just like your male counterparts, is again one more thing that should be changed and should be taken as very, healthily by the HR people. I think fourth strategy can be that we as women need to network more uh, around us with like-minded women who are already have grown through all those challenges and now they are doing well in their lives. So you need to find out the correct network community or something like that where you can go and speak about your own challenges. You can
Hmm.
find like-minded support over there. uh, you can find mentorship over there. So I think these are the basic key strategies that we really need to adopt if we really, want to make the difference in our lives.
In your experience, what role do mentorship and sponsorship play in advancing women's career into leadership? Now, you have told the challenges. Now, how do we make, we know the challenges that you don't have like-minded people don't have place to go and talk if a woman needs guidance. How what could be the role of a mentor? How do I identify a mentor also in the organization? Because we don't what we've seen is women don't get the kind of guidance or support, or they don't ask, is what you said in a couple of moments back. How do we enable that using mentorship and guidance, or even sponsoring to play an advancing to the career role or into the leadership?
So when we are talking about strategies to overcome all these barriers, so mentorship is definitely a go-to thing for
Mm.
every woman who's trying to, excel in their careers or in their lives or whatever area they are finding, some challenges. I
Okay.
being myself a mentor, I being myself a coach, I have experienced it with my own clients that
Mhm.
when offer a better hand holding at the right time can definitely bring that transition in the way you are growing in your life or in your career, whatever it can be. So coaching is very powerful tool in terms of um, uplifting that mindset, which leads you to the correct path of development and growth and performance in your life. And as you said, as you told that mentoring, finding a good mentor in your organization again is very important. And I think nowadays in corporates we have a people and culture department and learning and development departments in place who are
Mm.
dedicatedly working towards creating the culture where which is more inclusive, more diverse, and which offers more support for the women. So I think if you are working in such kind of organizations, you can directly approach your such departments and seek support in terms of a mentor. Sometimes informally you can find those mentors in your peer group as well. As I was talking about that, you involve more leaders in leadership role, women leaders, and they will offer that support to the women around them. So I urge to all those who are into that position or in a capacity to offer such kind of help to the women around them. Do it mindfully. Identify such people who can actually, grow with the help and hand holding of yours, and from your experience, they can learn how to go further. So yes, mentorship and coaching, or maybe finding someone who can take you through all these challenges with some guidance or piece of advice, very important. We
Mm.
women usually hesitate in seeking help, but it should be changed now. It's a big time need, because if you don't ask for help, nobody would come forward for themselves to help you. That's as simple as that.
Now you brought some pointer where you said they need to take support from the other leaders to bring up their leadership, right, and guidance. Now, how can men be allies in promoting gender equality and fostering inclusive leadership environments? Because when you have to have gender equality, you will have to take their support also, is what my understanding says. And how do we foster that kind of a culture to bring up women to the leadership role?
Absolutely, Prem. I mean, it's never possible without the enough support we get from our male counterparts, and
Mm.
we all can see that significant shift which is happening in the mindset, the way the males of our families or our society used to take women leadership, and this era in this generation how they feel so much they come forward in terms of helping support, or maybe offering help or care in terms of managing some stuff at the home. So when we talk about women empowerment, it doesn't start at the workplace. Women empowerment starts at home, when every woman is giving equal respect for their choices and decisions. And it the decision or choice can be to go forward towards their career choices, or it can be staying back at home and managing your own home. Even that choice should be given equal respect. So yes, it's the empowerment is about giving enough space to take their choices and getting enough acceptance for it. So it will start from home when your the men in your family are offering you the enough support, so you can step out and go confidently in whatever you are doing, rather than just being worried about what is happening at home. There's no one to take care of your family or your child or someone like that.
Okay.
And that's very essential part of being a woman. You cannot take away this from a woman. So, yes, if you want to see a woman grow, the men have to be there in terms of support. I'm glad to share this fact that yes, we do have such men in our families, in society. I can see that. But it will never be enough. So, I think yes, it should be increased to a certain level where when we are leaving home, we are not worried that we'll be taking care of our families, of our elders and children. So I just want to see one day this whole shift is happening practically, and we are
Yes.
enjoying our workplace without bothering about what's happening at home.
Okay. What initiatives or programs have you found to be particularly successful in nurturing the next generation of female leaders? See, people get into roles, but they are skeptical in taking up leadership roles. Is there anything that we can foster during they join the organization? Give them a roadmap in terms of saying these are the programs that are available. These are the uh, paths that you can take in your journey, climbing into the boardroom or stuff like that, or taking up a role which is more challenging in terms of uh, getting them to understand their career growth in the organization, and some programs which help them go and start from day one they join an organization.
Absolutely, and that's such a very um, relevant point that you made here, Prem. That yes, when we are talking about building whole ecosystem which is supportive to nurture women leadership, it
Mhm.
starts with the organization level, of course. So it can be a mid-sized, mid-level company where 10 employees are working. It can be a big corporate house where thousand and multiple of thousands people are working, but you will have to create the whole culture. We can start by dedicating a certain department like people and culture or learning and development. I cannot see that like HR, being put under so much of burden. They are already really stressed about recruitment thing. So why not have a separate department which is again only thinking about, nurturing the talent that is working in your organization, and it can have a separate set or separate vertical of leadership program which is oriented towards women. We at Corp People in my coaching organization, we ourselves have curated a women leadership program. Now a lot of people ask me that when you are talking about equality and diversity, why are you having specific program oriented towards women? What's the need? And I would say yes, there is a dire need, just because we are women and we deal with a lot of challenges that might not be even a tiniest part of a man's life. and
Okay.
that difference and that difference will always be there. We are biologically different, we
Yeah.
are different in terms of value systems, and we are different in terms of our priorities. So when a woman is stepping out to work, comparing to man, they have different set of challenges, different set of inhibitions and insecurities. So why not curate a program which is oriented towards women growth, and those tools and techniques which we apply in our generic, coaching models, we can blend them according to their needs. The programs that we run at Corp People have been significantly successful. We have seen women who have done it, like getting help from it and nurturing their mindset towards growth. And we have been working with organization in a city tier 2 town like Nasik. So if
Hmm.
Nasik companies can actually identify this kind of gap and they understand the importance of having such programs which are oriented towards leadership development for women employees, Why can't, we can bring this wave in each and every part of our country? So, yes, first thing is identifying that yes, there is a need by the company owners, and then apply it generously throughout the every level of organization. Even some receptionist is there working in your company, or there may be a senior manager personnel. The programs and mentorship should be offered to everyone. And while we are talking about organizational level support, Prem, I think a very significant support can be in terms of flexible working.
Mm-hmm.
We are also talking about menstrual leaves, which has been, a very big agenda a few days ago of discussion among a lot of people, that it is fair or not. I think it's about giving flexibility. If a woman is seeking leave in those days, she should be allowed to take it without any fear of, cutting down on her pay scale. And if she is ready to work from home, it should be given. I mean, it's all about giving the freedom of choice. So if those support are offered by organizational level, I think women will feel more confident in terms of working. And
I think in
someone.
the COVID period, I think during the COVID period, I would like to add is the power of working from remote for women or men was more the same, moreover the same thing, and that that I think the organizations have understood that people can work even from home and do the similar kind of work that is there. Part of how a man can do, a woman also can take that kind of a challenge and do is what COVID proved us to us, where they had a lot of this one. Now coming back again there, in what ways can technology and innovation be leveraged to enhance women opportunities in leadership roles? How technology can be added? You said there are certain courses. I suggest the audience to talk to Parul, reach out to her LinkedIn profile and see and talk if there is something that she can be of help in coaching people. But what could be the technology that can enable people to take up leadership roles is my next thought process of what I want to hear out from you, Parul.
I think the previous question and where you were talking about COVID period, that's the
Hmm.
best example how technology can enable anyone to, to talk to someone or seek guidance or learn something new or maybe work remotely.
Okay.
So yes, technology is helping in big way and just revamping the whole working culture in every organization. As our a company owner, we have seen people working for days and days from the comfort of their homes, trying to be productive, of course. So when you talk about women, I think that kind of flexibility that virtual mode working or flexible working hours can offer is tremendous,
Mhm.
tremendously beneficial, in fact. Apart from it, yes, when you're talking about support and mentorship, technology can again be very helpful. So someone sitting in northeastern state of India can seek my support. She can approach me, or just call me and talk to me about her problems, and we can actually do the coaching thing, or maybe any mentoring program we can run with them. So that's the feasibility and comfort that technology has bring in after COVID. Earlier, we might not have been comfortable for going for online courses, that it's not credible or something like that. But now everything is running and so accessible. So, as women and anybody who comes to me with their problems, I definitely offer support, that go and reach out to those tools and those kinds of websites or organizations who are running such programs, and find it out that whatever suits best for you, and definitely go for them. At least try them. It will give you some sense of learning. At least it won't be wasted at all. So yes, technology is helpful, and it is again, proving to be a game changer in the whole working scenario. And as women, we should definitely leverage this.
Okay. Parul, can you tell us what are the kind of programs that you run? Any specific programs that you have in mind? or you've been running part of your core people organization, where it can start a leadership journey in specific to the freshers who are there, build their uh, uh, path in such a way that you guide them, mentorship and stuff. Is there something that you have of your own, or you teach it on an online course? Do you have something like that as part of a technology innovation that you do part of core people?
Yes, of course. In fact, me and my partner at Corpeople. So luckily, I have my partner. She is also a female, and
Mhm.
being with into that zone, we definitely understand what kind of challenges and what kind of particular pain points that we really need to target and solve for women who are striving hard to achieve and excel in their career journeys. So yes, we have curated programs for different leadership roles. We run separate programs for those who are trying to enter into entrepreneurship, or maybe trying to hard establish their small level businesses. That's a dedicated vertical for helping small business owners to build sustainable business, first of all. We have
Okay.
separate programs for startup founders. Startup is again one of those areas where you need a lot of resilience and patience. It takes a
Okay.
lot of time to build that idea and develop into product. So yes, that kind of mentorship and incubation support that we are offering to women founders who are coming from startups. Then there is separate program, separate vertical, which is concentrated towards building C-suite leaders. So those methodologies and tools that we use to build those kinds of resilient leaders who are reaching to boardrooms, it's entirely different what we take up for the freshers, of course. So yes, those that curriculum will have different sets of strategies that we build around development and nurturing that correct mindset to excel over there. So that customization has helped us tapping up various tiny aspects that women deal with. But yes, most of the time, what we have understood by running all those programs, that most of the women juggle with that work life integration thing, and
Okay.
that's one gray area which everyone is struggling with, and we really want to focus and solve this dilemma. So, as you were speaking about offering online programs, yes, if somebody is not based out of Nasik and they are somewhere remotely placed and they want to avail the services, we are there. One on one coaching is available virtually as well. So, yes,
Okay.
all the programs we run offline at company level or at our office level, they all are available online as well. We just need to find out the correct ways and availability of the participants, and we can definitely go for them.
Now, what would be the duration of these kind of programs? When you talk about one-on-one, you can schedule it based on a weekly stuff, or how many calls that they have in terms of having this. How is the what is the duration that you plan for a one-on-one talk if they want to have a mentorship with you, Parul?
Okay. Again, depends upon the expectation from the participants. But I, as coach and mentor, I do understand that it is not an overnight journey that will bring that shift.
Yeah.
So, and coaching is a slow process of growth and transformation, as you know. So for coaching, I
Right.
definitely recommend that at least let's get into a 3 month long program where we are having one-on-one sessions multiple times, so that the participants also get enough space to reflect on whatever was going through the coaching sessions. So I think 3 months is the minimum time of involvement that we really expect from the participant, and then it can be based upon the kind of results or the kind of changes that the participants can see in themselves, and they want to continue further for 6 months or maybe 1 year long coaching programs. So I've had clients who are actually working with us since last couple of years. It has been intermittent for sure, but yes, they are still onto the path of getting coached and mentored by us, because that shift is happening, that is visible. So it's all about your inner drive, that how much you are trying to give into it, for your upliftment, and we are always there to support them, in this journey.
Yeah.
But to sum it up, yes, I think 2 month or 3 month long commitment is required to see visible results.
I agree for what you're saying. First, we'll have to understand what exactly is the need that they are looking for, what is their aim, and what is their goal that they have, and what is the time they can spend in understanding the whole journey. Based on that, you can curate a program that is there, is what I understand. And the basic thing that you're saying is about 3 months is what we start up, and then finally you handhold them in bringing up things and guide them on the. Now you brought up a very important point on the previous session also, what we did on about startup, women startup. Parul is part of the women entrepreneur committee as well, so she can help the women entrepreneurs to set up businesses if anything is required. We can. I'll share the link on the chat after the call. Reach out to Parul. Parul, it's been a great time that we had today. With this, we conclude our session in terms of the questions or thought processes that we had. Thank you for being part of the show. Any questions, please post it on the chat here. We will see, review these questions, and we'll come back in case Parul has to give you some insights. We'll post Parul's LinkedIn profile on the chat on this invite. Please do reach out to her, and thank you for that, Parul. Thank you for joining us. Have a good day.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Prem. And thank you everyone who has joined the call. Thank you.
We had a glitch in the start of the session where we were not able to bring up Parul onto the dash due to some technical issues. We were delayed for 10 minutes. Sorry for that. And with this, we will conclude the show. Thank you.